We're back with Mike Fitzgerald, CEO of Enterprise Honolulu. Mike, I had read somewhere that you believe in well-paid jobs. I mean, average salaries, I guess, for the Hawaii people, at least $50,000. That people are able to have a good job, make pretty good money. Do you have this belief because you think that if people make more money, they're going to give back to the businesses, so it'll nurture and be successful all the way around?
Well, that's part of it, and that will be one of the definite results. If people are making enough money so they can afford to live and don't have to have everybody in the family working, they're going to spend more time with their children. They're going to be more available to do volunteer things in the community. They're going to have more time to be active, both in their neighborhood and in the external community. And that's almost the antithesis of what reality is in Hawaii right now. And this is what was the biggest learning for me when I got here. There are 1.2 million people in Hawaii, about local citizens. There are 600,000 jobs about, and that goes up and down depending on the economy. 70% of those jobs do not pay living wages. 70%, that means only 30% of the people that live in Hawaii have living wage jobs. And that's a specific calculation by how much does it cost to live in a certain area, whether it's one person, two person, do you have children, so forth. And that's a study many studies have been done all over the U.S., but that's a study that was done by the Association for Women at the University of Hawaii about 2 years ago. I could give you the exact quote, although I can't remember the exact name of the study. It shows that in downtown Honolulu, basic living wage for a family of two people with two children is $64,000. That's after you pay taxes. So the average wage would be much higher than that. So the result is we must create jobs in Hawaii that pay $50,000 or above, or we're going to keep people trapped at the bottom. Those numbers tell you there's not a middle class in Hawaii because we have the highest number of people working per family, the highest multiple people of working per family in the U.S. just to try to make ends meet. So there's 2, 3, 4 people working in a family to try to cobble together the 40 or 50 or 60,000 they need to just live. Mm-hmm. That must be changed because the driving force now is a bifurcation between wealth and poverty is even expanding now, particularly the high cost of housing is exacerbating that. It's very difficult for even middle-class people, of which there are not many in Hawaii, to buy housing now, to get affordable housing. There almost isn't any. It's very difficult for young people starting out to get a job that pays a living wage and an apartment or a house where they could start building up equity. If we can't change that in Hawaii and you run this out 10 or 20 years, this will be like circumstances that caused the French Revolution. You're going to have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% of wealthy people and everybody else, and it is not tolerable. That must be changed, and that's why we need public and private leaders really working on this diversification agenda. Those high-paying jobs are not going to come from tourism. That doesn't mean that tourism isn't important and how to be supported here. I'm neutral on tourism. But good-paying jobs are not going to come from tourism. There's very few good-paying jobs in there for the hotel bar managers, da-da-da-da-da. They're going to come from diversifying the economy in these technology sectors. The good news is these technology sectors are here, and the reason they're here is because Senator Inouye has poured so much federal money in this state for 30 or 40 years. If he hadn't done that, these wouldn't be here. And if these weren't here now, any one of them would be way too expensive for the state to create. It wouldn't happen. The good news is they're here. They already employ 30,000 people. There's 1,500 companies. They're the fastest growing sectors. They pay good paying jobs, not just living wage jobs, and they are well on the way of becoming the third pillar for this economy. Just let me give you 3 numbers. Tourism brings in $11 billion a year to Hawaii. The military missions, that is Army, Navy, Air Force, so forth, and the direct troops and their families are about $5 or $6 billion a year. These sectors together, these innovation sectors, are already $3.5 billion a year, and they're the fastest growing. So what you see in there is for the first time in Hawaii's history, we're raising the floor of Hawaii's economy. It's raising up. People are not going to be trapped at the bottom, and that should drive new changes in education. There hasn't been a need to educate people well in Hawaii because there were no good jobs here. And matter of fact, there's a culture here that discouraged many parents from having their kids do well in school because if they did well in school, they left here and they never saw them again. Now there's an opportunity for the first time to encourage young people to really do well here because these technology knowledge-based sectors are creating good-paying jobs, and it's going to change the face of Hawaii if we can keep it going.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.